Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. HB Nostalgia here, and I'm just hanging out in the Chad arcade, the VR arcade that I covered a few days ago, and why you shouldn't be playing modern gaming. And lo and behold, in that video, I was talking about how old school games are the way to go. Go back to retro to get away from this woke mind virus, and then old school Runescape decides that we need pronouns now. See, we have to have pronouns or we're not inclusive in a game that's 23 years old. The generation of gamers that are playing old school RuneScape, I guarantee you, are not all about this. This is not something that they voted for. And I'm going to get into that in a minute, but this stuff has infiltrated so many levels of our society. And it really irritates me when people try to say, well, it's just these little activists doing it. It's just, they're getting all these things changed. Well, this is such a small portion, a very small percentage of the overall population. They are not impacting this change. This is coming from the top down. This is coming from companies like BlackRock. This is coming from all these consultant firms like Sweet Baby Inc. that are absolutely propped up by the government. Okay? And I know a lot of the reason why people don't talk about this, because as soon as you go there, it's like, oh man, gotta break out the tin foil. Dude's a conspiracy theorist. Well, if you take a look at everything, it's in Oreos. It's an advertisement for Oreos, Doritos, beer, all sorts of stuff. It's all over the place. It's infiltrated EverQuest. It's infiltrated basically everything at this point, man. Like, it's almost impossible to get away from it. And somebody mentioned there are good indie games out there, because I didn't mention that in the last video. There are, but a lot of them are also bowing the knee to this stuff. And I first noticed that this was coming from the top down way back in 2016. I was at work and I heard a commercial and I just caught the tail end of it. And what stood out to me was he said, females and minorities are encouraged to apply. And I thought to myself, did I seriously just hear him say that? And then of course it came back around again, and this time I listened more intently. Females and minorities are encouraged to apply. So later on, like the next day, I hopped on their social media, and I'm like, yo, what's up with the basically code for F you white boy message you guys got playing on your radio, on your radio station? And the DJ's like, yeah, F you, buddy. And I kind of fired back. I'm like, well, I got a YouTube channel. I might cover this. And he kind of changed his tune real quick, because he probably didn't want any negative publicity. Little does he know that my channel was insanely small. But still, he recoiled at the thought, and he said, well, no, we have to do that. We have to do it because it comes from the top down, and if we don't do it, we can get all these fines and blah, blah, blah. And I looked into it, and sure enough, it's being pushed from way up. And people just don't talk about that. A lot of people are covering the fact that wokeness is infiltrating everything, and very few of them have the balls, shall we say, to go there and point that this is something coming from the top down. And that's why I always point people to the video I made when nations fall, echoes of Weimar Republic, and I'm kind of laughing to myself here because my subs have to be sick to death about hearing about it. I made it just about 2 years ago to try to show people how this is a mirror of our past.
She was Marlene Dietrich.
Claire was already a star, and Marlene had no experience singing, so Claire trained her. Marlene copied a lot from Claire Waldorf, not just the style, the androgyny, the tuxedo.
Androgyny, like the Baphomet, right? The Baphomet's androgynous. Everybody knows about the Baphomet, right? So here's the Baphomet the Church of Satan had put together, and because Satan seeks to be like the Most High, he's got children around him, which is really creepy and unsettling. Here's an older drawing. You can see the masculine and feminine features put together. And this is a whole rabbit hole, man. And how they use the left against the right before, and they get their order out of chaos. This is stirring up trouble everywhere you go. And you can't get away from it. That's the point. Is that when you just want to turn off your brain, man, and just play an old school MMO and like go mining and skilling up. There it is. Hi. Here's your new update, your player character, your way. A big part of old school is having the freedom to play the game your way. And that should extend to character creation too. We want our players to have the freedom to express themselves. And Gillinor, I don't even know how to say the word of RuneScape just as they would IRL. See, because once again, everything has to be about modern issues, even in a 23-year-old fantasy video game. With this in mind, we've updated the Makeover Mage interface. Players may now choose between body type A and body type B, offering the freedom to pick either body type without the restriction of gender labels. I love how they use this speech, how they carefully weave the speech into making it sound like it's something good. Kind of like what they do with abortion instead of just, calling it, I don't know, baby murder or inclusion instead of calling it activism. Because let's be honest, how many people are included in their inclusion? Are white conservative Christian men included in their inclusion? What about fundamental Islamists? Are they included? No, because they don't condone homosexuality. So they're not included, right? To give you even more room for self-expression, you can now choose a preferred pronoun for your player character from the following options: he, him, she, her, or they, them. You can also continue without selecting a pronoun if that's what you prefer. And this is where detractors are going to say, well, you don't have to do it. Well, it shouldn't be in my face either. Something that makes up a minute, again, a very small fraction of the population just ham-fisted and hit over your head. This is here to piss you off. The game will use the default based on body type, similar to how it has always been. We've updated these options on both the Makeover Mage interface and the character creation menu. Pronouns can also be changed in the settings menu for convenience. Well, gee, thanks. So that's what everybody wanted. That's what everybody wanted. That when they think about old school RuneScape, they just got to have them pronouns. It's the only thing that's been missing. And it's funny because they're supposed to take a poll on this stuff before anything is added. And Kiwi Farm said on X, old school RuneScape moderator Jagex Ash of Jagex hints misgendering players will be a bannable offense after forcing through pronouns and body type AB change into a 23-year-old game without a poll. Jagex had previously promised only changes with 70% approval will be implemented. Well, that doesn't matter when you're talking about activism. You don't have a say. Kind of funny how that works. Kind of like unfettered immigration into all the traditional Eastern European countries in America. I got to be careful. I can't talk about that too much without getting canceled over here. I might be in risk already. But these are the things that they're using to just start shit everywhere. And you can't get away from it. And now, some of my subs don't like when I talk about this stuff. They didn't sub for it. They subbed for EverQuest Online Adventures. They subbed for MMORPG talk. And I would say to you, well, this is still within the realm of the MMORPG. Unfortunately, it's been infiltrated with this garbage. So while I know you guys are telling me, hey, just leave this stuff off, can't we just talk about EQA?
I know what it is you want of me, but I will not bring further death to my people. I will not risk open war.
Open war is upon you, whether you would risk it or not.
I didn't bring this to your door, all right? They did. And you can choose to ignore it if you want to, but you're caught in the middle of like a cultural and spiritual war. That's what's happening right now. And I know people are going to think that that's like a crazy take, that this is somehow a spiritual thing. But think about everything that they stand for on that side. Does it go against what the Christian scriptures say you should do and shouldn't do? It does. Isn't it funny how everything that they stand for is anti-biblical and is anti-Christ in just about every single way? Did you guys happen to catch the Olympics? I haven't talked about the Olympics. I spared you that one. But I'm going to go there a little bit right now. Did you see the opening and closing ceremony for that? Do you have eyes to see and ears to hear? You're caught in the middle of this whether you want to be or not, because society is going to drag you along with whichever way this goes. And I'm going to tell you right now, brother, it's not going to end very well. And this is why I keep preaching to people, you have got to find Jesus. You have got to have the Holy Spirit of discernment. You have to lean on that to carve a path for you in this world, because there are many pitfalls on both sides of the aisle. The left and the right have pitfalls, and I have been trying to get people to see with the spirit of truth and to let truth lead them. The Bible is very clear that if you seek after the truth with all of your heart, you will be given truth. But you can't look at things that make you uncomfortable or things that you don't like about yourself or whatever and say, I'm just going to leave that off. You can't have any bias. You have got to seek out what's happening. And it is no coincidence that Pride Month, I've pointed this out before, has demon right in the middle of it, man. It's right there in front of your face, and people are like, no, that's just a coincidence, bro. It's just a coincidence that the rainbow, which was traditionally a sign of God's promise not to flood the earth, has been co-opted as a giant middle finger to everything he said that is an abomination and man should never, ever do. The whole pride lion thing I pointed out with EverQuest. A lion is a symbol of Christ coming back as a lion. In other words, he comes back pissed off, ready to judge a world that has rejected him and trodden down his people. And they take it and they turn it into gay lion, a gay lion mountain, and whatever else. This is a spiritual war, man. And if you can't see that, like I said, you need to pray to God for a sign, because you are quickly entering into pretty much uncharted waters here in the United States. This has happened in the past, but we've never seen anything like the civil and social unrest that's coming. I've pointed out the fact that we have two different presidential candidates. One is a black female, a person of color female, okay? And the other is a white male. Do you think that that's an accident? Do you think that that's divisive? Have you not noticed the racial tension 24/7 everywhere you go, and then we just happen to get this? Have you not noticed MGTOW, men going their own way? Have you not noticed these things, guys? Is it uncomfortable when somebody points a spotlight on it and says, your world is rapidly falling apart, get on the boat? This place is abandoned ship, son. It's time to go. Is that uncomfortable? Yeah, that's the way it is. But you don't want to be like the band on the Titanic that's still playing as the damn thing's going down, all right? Pay attention to what's happening in your world. Pay attention to the wars, the rumors of wars, the crazy fires and floods and earthquakes everywhere. All these things are in the scriptures. And when I talk about them, I piss off a certain subsection of people. Well, because God says that friendship with the world is enmity with him. If you're going to be friends with people and not tell them what they need to know, you've got blood on your hands for not speaking up, son. So, yeah, if people want to hate on me, they want to downvote, they want to unsub, spit in my face, make up lies about me, all these things have happened over the past couple of years. You just go right ahead and do it. Because I'm told to count it as a blessing when those things happen. I'm not here to make friends with the world. I'm here to warn people that this stuff seems like it's just, this small time thing with the Doritos commercial or with an Oreos commercial, or it's just, let's just say it's, just this one little thing happening with this game over here. I'm going to put all of that on the table in front of you and show you, no, there's a much larger picture here, and you're not perceiving it. So take a look around. Take a look at what's been happening in the world. Look at the UK, all the unrest over there. Look at what's going on with Canada. They're not happy with their leaders. Nobody seems to be happy with their leadership anywhere, even Venezuela. Everything going on between Israel and Hezbollah, which is going to lead into a problem with Iran, which they've been wanting to have for a long time now. And Iran is tied to Russia. Russia ties to China. The BRICS nations, has anybody heard of the BRICS nations versus NATO? Does anybody see that what I'm trying to allude to here? You can call me crazy if you want, but I'm telling you right now, start stocking up food. Think about getting out of the city. You need to start thinking about where you're going to go when you die one day. And people don't like to think about that. You need to seek after the truth. You need to seek after the Lord Jesus Christ. But right now, I want to hear from you guys down in the comment section below. It should be interesting. If you like this, hit the thumbs up. If you're new here and you enjoyed it, subscribe, click that notification bell. God bless, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.